far right side of the slide, which I know means your eyes will be directed there, but that's okay. There we go. So this is what your genome looks like. All right? The human genome is fragmented into 23 fundamentally different pieces that have totally different information on them. And those 20-some thousand genes are scattered across all of those different chromosomes. So what you guys did is you took the genome, you cut it up, and you arranged them in order of size. And so when we actually arrange and number chromosomes, we do it exactly the same way you did. We take the biggest chromosome, we label it 1, we take the second biggest, label it 2, and so on down the line. These first 22 chromosomes are referred to as the autosomes. And that last chromosome that you set aside, that chromosome you can go ahead and label with an X. Because that last chromosome you set aside is indeed the X chromosome, and we refer to the X and its friend, who we'll talk about in a little while, the Y chromosome, as the sex chromosomes. So if you want a sense of really how big all of the chromosomes are in reality, this is a chart showing you the size and base pairs and also the number of genes that are present on all of the different chromosomes. So one of the things you can see is that there is a rough relationship between size of chromosome and number of genes, but it's not a perfect relationship. Certain chromosomes have a small number of genes relative to their size. Other chromosomes have a larger number of genes relative to their size. But those 21,000 genes are scattered across all of these different chromosomes. Yeah?
I feel like, where did the Y come from? I mean, like, but I feel like you're getting there.
We will talk. The Y, it turns out, is a weird chromosome that is a degenerated X chromosome. And that's our understanding of the origin of the Y chromosome. But since you asked about it, it's a good time to talk about it. And if you look at the Y chromosome, so you've got the X chromosome, and then you have, I don't know if you can see how small, or is it the Y chromosome is here? It's much, much smaller. In fact, it's one of the smallest of all the chromosomes. And the Y chromosome doesn't have much going for it, other than it plays a very, very important role in sex determination. So if you happen to inherit a Y chromosome, unless something else happens during development or there's mutations in certain genes, you develop as a male. All right? So genetically, you're male if you inherit a Y chromosome. But as we know, females, females have two X chromosomes, and that means that you can do just fine without the Y chromosome. So the Y chromosome is not essential. I mean, it's essential for certain things, but it has this one location on it. If I zoom in on the Y, there's this really important gene that goes by the acronym SRY.
Sorry.
And that's a gene that goes for the acronym, the acronym stands for the sex determining region of the Y chromosome. And so if you get this, it triggers development that causes the embryo to develop as a male. If you don't have it, you don't develop as a male. The few other genes that are present on the Y, and there really aren't that many, there's one up here that goes by the acronym MMA, and there's one down here that goes by the acronym NFL, and then one NASCAR. Those are also genes found on the Y chromosome. Just kidding. Sorry. Shouldn't traffic in gender stereotypes here. But really, the Y chromosome isn't essential other than for sex determination. Okay? And our understanding of its origin is that it is a degenerated X chromosome that essentially, because it can't recombine, continues to lose more and more and more genes over time, essentially. So it's a degenerated X, and that's the origin of the Y, as far as we know. So when you look at the chromosomes, there's a few terms we have to develop in order to talk intelligently about genetics and chromosomes. And one of those terms, and I apologize because we try to limit the amount of terminology we throw at you guys because sometimes it just blocks understanding rather than illuminating it. But with genetics, there are certain terms that you need to know to be able to talk about it. Instead of talking around it, you just learn the term and you can talk intelligently about it. So one of the words that we need you guys to know is the word haploid. Another word we need you to know is the word diploid. And these two words simply refer to if you have one copy of all the chromosomes or if you have two copies of all the chromosomes. So the word haploid refers to one complete set of all the chromosomes. The word diploid refers to the state where you have two complete sets of all the chromosomes. Not quite. We'll develop this idea a little bit more in a second.
Well,
Yeah.
So is a diploid the X shape that we're seeing as opposed to the singular?
The X shape, we'll get to the X shape in a little while.
Okay.
That's something else that also people get very, very confused by. Really confused. In fact, I talk to most biology majors and they have no idea what those X's that you see on the chromosomes actually are. So the other thing that we do is we use this term haploid number and this word, or this term diploid number. And haploid number refers to what you guys just did to that genome. How many pieces is it broken up into? So the human haploid number is 23. And because it's a pain to say haploid number, we often abbreviate it by just writing the letter lowercase n. So n refers to how many pieces the genome is broken up into. If you have two copies, that is, you are diploid, we simply say 2n. And for 2n for humans would be what? 46. Okay, yes?
So we were doing the strawberry experiment, and they were basically 8 men.